Welcome to the channel. My name is Dina. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel. In this video, I just want to share with you my experience with alocasia dormancy and propagating an alocasia corm. You may be repotting your alocasia and you find these cute little bulbs and you may be wondering what they are and what to do with them. Or your plant has gone into dormancy and you want to know what that means for your plant. Keep watching and I will go through these questions with you based on my experience in growing alocasias. I am not in any way an expert. In fact, this is my first time propagating an alocasia corm. So far, my first attempt appears to be a success, so I just want to share them with you. Corms are part of the plant's root system. They are like round, swollen parts attached to the roots. They also store food and energy for the plant. Under the soil, some of these corms can also get attached and die, and we won't know anything about it. Or they can grow into new alocasias at the right time given the right conditions. And when they do, it will be like a nice surprise seeing this tiny new plant coming out of the soil. And you can repot this new plant, and that is one way of propagating alocasias. Or you can harvest the corms and propagate them in water or a growing medium. The best time to check for corms and harvest them is when you repot. I got this corm from my alocasia black velvet when I repotted it last year. There were a couple of corms in the soil, but I left most of them with the mother plant. I only removed one big corm to propagate as an experiment. I thought the remaining corms will one day grow into new plants and make this pot look fuller. These here are some of the corms coming out on the surface. You can, however, choose to harvest all of the corms and propagate them in water or a growing medium. That will give you a better chance of success. The best specimens will be ones that feel firm when you squeeze between your fingers. To propagate this black velvet corm, I scrape the outer layer, just a thin layer, this brown bit here, lightly with my fingernail until the lighter skin of the corm is exposed. I place it in a tiny bottle cap with the pointy end facing up. This is where the new leaf and roots will grow, and the rounded end sitting in water. I fill the cap halfway with water and then place the cap inside this takeaway container. And I also have some water in the container, and I kept the lid closed to keep the humidity up. I place the container in a bright spot under the shade outdoors. I change the water in the cap and the container once a week, and I also wash the container clean when it gets dusty and dull so that the corm inside gets as much light as it can. This outer cover turns brown again after a couple of weeks, so what I did was scrape this off again and just keep checking that the corm stays firm and keep scraping off the brown layer. I have learned that it can take up to 4 months for the new leaf to come out. With my propagated corm, it took about 5 months for the roots to come out and another month or so for the new leaf to come out from the tip of the corm. I can now move this into sphagnum moss or perlite and let it grow some more, and in spring, I can move it into my regular soil mix. Finally, let's chat a bit about alocasia dormancy. It can cause anxiety when you see your plant dying, and alocasias are known to go dormant. This happens because of environmental stress like the cold temperature in winter. A temperature of below 18 degrees may be enough to send it to dormancy. The good news is that it is a temporary natural process. When the alocasia does go dormant, it is just saving its energy in the tuber, ready to spring back into life when the weather warms up. If it is dormant, the alocasia stops growing or dies back. I got my alocasia mellow from Interstate, and last winter I started getting these yellow leaves and until all of the leaves died. I did not check under the soil to see if the base of the plant and the roots are still firm or if there are any corms in the soil, so I wasn't sure at this point if my plant was dormant. If the plant is indeed dormant, the tuber and roots will look and feel firm and not mushy. I continued to water the pot just a little bit, and I left it in a warm and bright spot. And then one day a little leaf came out, and then another and another, until I have about 7 little plants in the pot. It was a lovely surprise because I wasn't sure until then if my plant was indeed dormant. I am keeping these little plants in this pot until spring, and then I will repot them into 2 pots using my own soil mix. That is all for today. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you find this video helpful and it makes your plant life easier. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Press the like and bell icon, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.